Hey guys, hope you're having an amazing day. In this analysis, we're going to be taking a look at gold, US oil, and Bitcoin. If you're just doing it for the first time, if you find this going to be very helpful, please like, share, and subscribe. Also, if you want to learn how to trade or you like what we do here, then subscribe to our membership plan on nfsup.com and join our Discord community where we share real-time daily updates about the market. All right, guys, with that said, let's get on chat. Here on our chart, we have a chart of XAU-USD, which is gold, and this is a continuation chart from what we did last week. Here we have some major differences, which I'm going to explain briefly. And today we're going to be including our new 200-day moving average as a key metric to check our bullish trend. So, following from last week trade and analysis as well, we saw gold drop down from the test of 3,500 up to the lows of 3,200. Now, this was expected and nothing strange. Especially the major pullback from 3,500 after having that breakout from our last consolidation range. So what we saw last week was the formation of a descending or falling wedge, which we can see here in the red zone. And this is mainly consolidation, which we're expecting to give us a continuation of the bull trend. So last week we had this major fake out. I believe it's going to be a fake out because the bull trend is still very much active, and price is currently above our 200-day SMA, which indicates that the bull trend is still very much active. So if we see price sustain at this level, and last week we saw the major test on our support zone, at currently which is currently at 3,200, and price failed to break up below this level. That tells us our support level is still very strong and very much active. And I expected this, and I still expect us to get a full bounce off above this support level and price trend back towards bullish zone, which would be above 33.25. Now, earlier last week we took a trade on our Discord community, and our entry was around 33.25, which was somewhat around a year around this price level. I'm going to put the mark down, just give us a year. I said then we had different price action dynamics, so that was why we got our entry quite very high, and we still have this trade running. So if you have this trade active, you don't have to worry about that. I believe we're still going to see price go above our entry level, which is going to be happening most likely this week, and if not then the week after. But we should see price return back, and expecting us to get this price action play out. We saw price from here down here, and I expect us to see a slight correction, and we'll get back up again. So we still have time, and the fundamentals are still very much in our favor. There is nothing changed. We still have the global political tension still very much active. We still have the trade war between US, Canada, and as well as China still very much in play, and that tells us on the big factor. There's a very high demand for gold, and there is still tension. So gold is still seen as a safe haven asset, and most likely investors are going to keep buying more gold, which will likely push the price of gold way much higher than we currently see. Now, for a start, I expect to see price return back towards 3,500 and beyond. So similar to gold, Bitcoin is still currently trending above the previous price levels or consolidation levels. So we should expect more bullish momentum from both of these pairs, which are seen as a hedge against inflation. So this is clearly seen on the 4-hour time frame, and I believe we're going to see this continue like that. On the daily time frame, we can clearly see the long-term trend, which is still very much in play, and price is still above our trend. So we could likely see some few tests or drops, but I don't think anything going to be significantly below the current price level. So if price close at least above 32.65 or 32.60 today, then that gives us that this would be more or less like a like a morning star kind of state pattern formation, which is a clear indication, a very solid indication for a bullish reversal. So I'm going to be watching out for today's daily close, and I expect us to see something significantly strong because the bounce off has been very clear from the market open today. So if we get a price above 632.60, that's a key indication that definitely we should see more heavy bullish momentum come back in the market. So for now, we still have um, just regular movement and nothing to worry about. I believe this is going to be a bearish trap. So I wouldn't advise taking a sell position, even if we get this formation set up right here. I believe we're going to see price return back to trend and continue bullish momentum. That being said, for gold, we're going to take a look at US oil. Now, US oil, I'm currently looking at a weekly chart, and that's because since we saw the major break below that almost 4 years support from June 21 till 2025, we've been in a bearish trend. Now, I expect this to continue until we see price hit $50 per barrel. Currently, we're seeing price at $56, and that's the follow up from the last sell-off on crude. Now, even if we had a bullish inventory reports, as we saw last week, where the demand was like the inventory was about minus 2.6 million barrels, compared to this expected forecast of about 0.6. So I still expect us to see more bearish moments, more bearish moves, because the momentum for bullish correction is not so strong. There's not so much demand for crude, and there's very high supply. So we should expect more bearish continuation of the trend. And I think fully well we're going to be working with the candlestick, the chart pattern formation. So we saw the break below the long-term descending triangle, and as usual, we usually get the length of the triangle as the new price target. So if we had this as our triangle length, we're expecting price to hit this level after the major breakout. So we see price trend towards uh, $50 and below. So we probably stop at 49 or 48, but nothing less than $50 we should be seeing in the market correction. So this is going to be seen clearly in the daily time frame, where we can see the more, shorter price action movements. We had this correction last week where we had a sell-off and price continued. So we're expecting that even if we're going to get any pullback, it should be probably a slight resistance at this current level, which we've already seen happen. And most likely it won't be solid. It's just short-lived, because this is not a major support level, and there is nothing to back that with. So if we see more bearish fundamentals this week, or even if we don't, there's a high chance that we're going to see price keep dropping lower up to the $50 price mark. So if you're going to be on the buy, I don't think you should be considering the buy, but if you're going to be on the buy, you have to be very, very cautious with your trade, and you have to monitor your trade closely, because most of the buys will not be long late. I'd rather recommend you just stick to the sell and find more sell entries. Just find more sell entries and take those entries. Lastly, we're going to be taking a look at Bitcoin, which is not so much I've changed with Bitcoin though. So we just have this breakout earlier, which we had was about a few weeks ago, about a week or 2 weeks ago. And currently we're seeing price just play out as expected. Nothing special. There is no much um heavy bullish momentum pushing the price. We're just seeing normal market dynamics play out, and I'm still waiting for the major shifts in interest into Bitcoin, and as well as the entire cryptocurrency market. Right now, we're still seeing a very mediocre move, not the regular Bitcoin moves. So we could see this happen again in April, but April closed with a bullish candle, and that was a good sign, indicating that the bull momentum is coming back. But we are yet to see the heavy bullish momentum capture the market again. So until we get a clear breakout above 108k, we still may see some short-term correction pullbacks and all those things. But a breakout above 110k would give us a clear indication that the bull run is fully active, and also we could be expecting some major breakthroughs on Bitcoin. Now, Bitcoin, like gold, is considered a safe haven asset, and since the global economic tension is still very much active, inflation is still on the high, most likely we could see investors pour more money into Bitcoin as they do with gold, and gold has been performing for a very long time in this particular bull cycle, but that might change. That might change. But now I still recommend you tread carefully with Bitcoin. We still around major resistance zone, which is currently at I'll show that here. Yeah, so around here we're still around this sub resistance zone. So if we get a clear breakout above this level, we should be looking towards 110k, and if that happens, then most likely we can expect higher prices in Bitcoin, because that will be an open market zone. All right, guys, trade carefully, and as always, trade smart and trade safe. See you guys in our Discord community, and cheers.